Hello everyone. Today we are going to study the last concept of the second chapter, that is the feminist historiography. Let's start that point. Over a significant period of time, mainly male scholars were involved in the writing of Indian history. As a result, the role and achievement of women in the history remain neglected. So here it is said that in our in our India, mostly male scholars, male historians, they were expressing their ideologies, their view, their writing work. We found that work mostly, and in that female history, female historians, their work, their role, their achievement in the society, their place in the society, these things were totally neglected. Then it was very important for the feminist writer to highlight these things, women's importance, their writing in front of the nation. So to highlight this fact was a major task faced by the feminist historians. Also, it was important to study and compile the historical writing of women. It was also necessary to rethink of women's position in history. So, as women's history, feminist history, it was totally neglected. Then to represent it in front of the world, it was a very important and very big task in front of the feminist historians. Feminist historians, they have to represent the study and to conserve and preserve, that is also very important. And what is the women's position, women's place in India, that also have to express in front of the nation. So these things were in front of the feminist historians, these tasks were in front of them. Among women author writing about women in the 19th century's common era, Tarabai Shinde was the foremost one. She wrote attacking male dominated society system and caste system. Her book Stri Purush Tulna, published in 1882, is acknowledged as the first feminist book in India. In our India, Tarabai Shinde, she was the very good, again a very impressive feminist writer. So Tarabai Shinde, she has written a very famous book in 1882. That book's name is Stri Purush Tulna. In that book, Tarabai Shinde, she has done the criticism over the caste system, over the male dominated society in our country. So her book, it is acknowledged as the first feminist book in our India. In 1888, the book written by Pandita Ramabai was published, entitled The High Caste Hindu Women. In the year 1888, Pandita Ramabai, she has published another book. That name of that book is The High Caste Hindu Women. This is also feminist literature. The feminist literature of the post-independence era concentrated on the issues like employment of women, treatment meted out to them at their working workplace, their right to political equality, etc. Now see children, after the independence, post-independence means after independence. So during that time, feminist literature, we found various subjects regarding the women perspective, like women's how they are getting the treatment to the women at their working place, what is the position of women in the society, their right to the political equality. So these various subjects were introduced in the post independence literature. Among the recently published feminist literature, Meera Kosambi's book Crossing Thresholds, feminist essay in the social history, is of importance. It contains essay on the life stories of women like Pandita Ramabai and Dr. Rukmabai, the first practicing lady doctor of India. A lot of literature is available unfolding the viewpoint of Dalit women. So children, here it is another historian, feminist historian, that is Meera Kosambi. She has written a book Crossing threshold. So in that, it is a feminist essay, and in that essay she has written about the life stories of great women like Pandita Ramabai, again Rukmabai. Rukmabai, she was a lady doctor. She was the first practicing lady doctor of India. So in our India, there was lot of literature available which is showing the opinion of Dalit women. So here it is given that Dr. Sharmila Rege's work is noteworthy in this context. Her book, Writing Caste, Writing Gender, regarding Dalit women's testimonies, includes her essay on autobiographies of Dalit women. So, Dr. Sharmila Rege, she was a very good, noteworthy historian in this context. Context means regarding Dalit women's writing, their opinion about the caste system in our India, gender equality. So about that, on Dalit women's perspective, it was expressed by the book Writing Caste and Writing Gender. Here additional information is given. Publication of Marathi Riyasat by Govinda Sakharam Sardesai was a momentous achievement in the field of Indian historiography. His book became so famous that people began to address him as Riyasatkar. He published several volumes of Maratha history. There have been a number of Indian historians who wrote without embracing a particular ideology. Among them, historians like Sir Yadunath Sarkar, Surendranath Sen, Riyasatkar, G.S. Sardesai, and Trembak Shankar Shejwalkar are noteworthy. So children, here it is in the last but one paragraph, it is said that there are number of Indian historians. They were not sticking to the particular one ideology, but they were expressing various subjects. So among them, Yajunath Sarkar, Surendranath Sen, and Riyasatkar, Sardesai, Trembak Shejwalkar. So these historians are noteworthy. In the recent times, Indian historians like Yashwant Dinkar Phadke, Ramchandra Guha, etc. have contributed extensively to historiography of modern India. Yashwant Dinkar Phadke and Ramchandra. So Guha, these two Indian historians, they were pointed out as the modern historians because they have accepted the modern historiography and the concepts of modern historiography. Thus, it is evident that the Indian historiography has been influenced greatly by the social and political movements. It seems that some part of Indian historiography was also developed outside the influence of these movements. So, in the conclusion, it is said that as we have seen this complete chapter and we have come to the conclusion that Indian historiography, it has greatly influenced by the political and the social movement. Number of movements we have seen in this chapter, though it is the Marxist historiography, nationalistic historiography, feminist historiography. So all this historiography, so that influenced this political and the social movement, that influence, and because that influence to the Indian historiography, not only just influence, but Indian historiography became developed because of these movements. So these movements is having the great contribution to our Indian historiography. So children, here our second chapter is completed. I hope you understood this chapter. Thank you very much.